From the PEP Radio Newsroom, this is the daily news for July 21st, 2026. These are the stories we are covering at this hour. President Donald Trump on Monday imposed 50% tariffs on most Canadian goods, declaring that Canada has unfairly discriminated against American autos, alcohol, and dairy products. The move could unleash a new wave of economic chaos, which risks of higher inflation and further fraying of relations between the two nations that had been closely woven together before Trump's return to the White House. The administration official previewing the action said that Canada was one of the only nations other than China that retaliated against Trump's previous tariffs and must be held accountable. The official insisted on anonymity on a call with reporters to preview the president's actions and said that Trump signed 3 proclamations to launch the tariffs under Section 338 of the 1930 Trade Act. In other words, he's congratulating himself for behaving just like President Herbert Hoover. Several Democratic lawmakers last year proposed repealing the section because they said Trump could use it to destabilize the economy. The new 50% tariffs would exclude energy products, potash, fish, and critical minerals, but they would include goods that had previously been protected from import taxes by the United States, Mexico, Canada Agreement, or the USMCA. That 2020 trade pact was not renewed by the U.S., triggering a new set of negotiations that could run until 2036. 5 people have died on a river in Ohio after several of them went into the water to help another person who was struggling to swim, authorities said Monday. The group had gathered Sunday along the Scioto River in the Columbus suburb of Powell when one of them went into the river for a swim. That's when the tragedy started to occur. Delaware County Sheriff Jeffrey Balzar said at a news conference. He said others who jumped in to help also began struggling. A motorist called 911 after spotting a frightened child with the group who was running along a nearby road to seek help, Balzer said. Rescue crews searching the water later Sunday found 2 women who were pronounced dead at a hospital, Balzer said. The bodies of 3 men were found in the river on Monday, said Tracy Whited, a spokesperson for the Delaware County Sheriff's Office. Authorities did not say exactly where the victims were found. The river was running high and fast on Sunday, according to data from a U.S. Geological Survey water gauge at the nearby dam. The data shows the water was flowing at a rate of about 350 cubic feet per second on Sunday, more than a 4-fold increase over a 3-day span and more than double the average rate. Turning to news from Pennsylvania, the number of Lyme disease cases is climbing this year for the 2nd year in a row. Western Pennsylvania remains one of the most heavily impacted regions across the country for the tick-borne illness. Lyme disease is just one of several that we are seeing a rise in, and that's mirroring the trends we are seeing at the state and national level, according to Dr. Graham Snyder from UPMC, who's the medical director of infection protection and hospital epidemiology. Allegheny and Westmoreland counties are leading the way with confirmed Lyme disease cases. So far this year, and reflecting Monday's state numbers, Allegheny County has 915 cases, 560 in Westmoreland, and 303 in Washington County. We see most of the activity increasing in the summertime for the larvae and nymph, and that's when we have the most infections, when people are picking them up the most from being outdoors, said Dr. Chad Gore, entomologist and market technical director with Ehrlich Pest Control. It's peak tick season, but the numbers reflect an increasing trend that ticks are more prominent. Part of that relates to climate change and shortening winter months, increasing duration of warm winter months, Dr. Snyder added. We have a large population of deer, which is one of the hosts for the black-legged tick. Part of that is why we're leading the way, Dr. Gore said. That's the news for this hour. PEP Radio is available on the Live 365 app, the homepage at paequality.com, Roku, Alexa, and wherever you find streaming radio. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.